Hey guys, it is another day of Vlogmas today, and I told you that I wanted to do a Q&A at some point during Vlogmas, so today is the day I want to film that. So let's just jump right in. Okie dokie. So the first question was from Hannah Kate 23. She asked, how often do you switch things up for your workouts? I find myself sticking to things that I like, but after a while I don't get sore anymore. So for my workout splits, I generally switch things up every 3 weeks. So I try to change mostly every single exercise. I usually keep the same split. You guys know that I'm starting a new split, but generally I try to find a split that I enjoy and stick with that for a long time. But I do change up my workouts every 3 weeks. And that's just changing the exercises, not the split. Okay, next question. Mama Wants Muscles 2 asked, any pointers on how to get delts like yours would be amazing. So I get a lot of questions about what I do to train shoulders. So basically, whenever I started my fitness journey, I felt like my shoulders was like the most terrible thing to train. I never felt it. I never saw progress in my shoulders. And so basically I started doing shoulders twice a week. I pair one day with chest, so chest and shoulders, and then later in the week I'll just do a shoulder day. And I found that the best thing to grow my shoulders, like personally, is that I do a lot of volume, a lot of supersets, drop sets. My shoulders respond really well to that. So like for an example, like I posted some of my shoulder workouts, and I will be posting my full shoulder workout later this week or earlier this week. I don't know, it'll be someday close to this Q&A. But basically I will do probably around like 4 or 5 exercises, but most of the time it'll be like 2 exercises superset, and that'll be like 1 exercise. So I'm doing a ton of volume, and I never really go heavy on shoulders except for on like overhead press, and that's what I do to work my shoulders, and I respond really well to it. D Hilton 12 asked, what do you do when you find yourself craving bad food? I feel like this is like the most common question in the world. And so what I do when I'm craving bad foods is I showed you guys those like sparkling waters that I like to drink. And so I have those a lot when I'm craving things, or when I'm hungry and it's not time for me to eat yet or anything like that. I really like those because they help keep you full just because they're carbonated. So I'll do that. I will have gum because the mintiness keeps you satisfied. But most of all, like, I just try to distract myself. And so like the gum and the waters and all that, that's just a way to distract myself. And so when I'm really craving things, I'll just try to, put that gum in or drink my water while I sit down and like work on something. So, and then sometimes I do allow myself to give into those cravings, as long as like I haven't had a cheat meal that week or anything. But I mean, I do have a cheat meal every week, and so that kind of helps me to stay on track, because I know, okay, I can't have this now, but later in the week I will be able to cheat. So that's something also that really helps me, is having a cheat meal every week. Okay, next question. Workout Queen Jen asked, how many days do you train and when is your usual rest day? I train 6 days a week, I lift 6 days a week, and I do cardio. Right now I'm doing it 2 times per week. And then, what is your usual rest day? My rest day, I usually train for 6 days and then take my rest day. So that usually falls on Sunday. Just because I don't know, that's just the way it works out. Okay, so Angie Howie asked, how often do you do cardio, both on prep and off? Do you do cardio while focused on building? Right now, I said I'm doing 2 days of cardio per week. One of those is a HIIT session and one of those is a steady state session. The HIIT is 20 minutes. The steady state is between 20 and 25 minutes, depending on what level I'm doing and how I'm feeling that day. And the reason I'm still doing cardio while building is because I'm still in my reverse diet, and I know it seems like my show is forever ago, but I was like so worried about rebounding from my show, and I think that this process I'm doing is really going well, and so I'm still going off of my cardio, and I do want to just bring it down to 1 day, but you know, I'm still working through that process, slowly tapering off cardio, and so I'm doing 2 right now. And then how often do I do cardio on prep? I'm pretty sure the most that I did was 4 days per week of cardio, and I talked about this actually in a few videos ago, but I did like 1 HIIT session and like 3 steady state, I think is what I did. And then I do cardio while focused on building? Right now, yes. Just because I'm still tapering off cardio from prep. I do want to take it down to just 1 day of cardio, maybe like 1 HIIT session. Just because like it's still important for heart health, and so I think it, you know, as a personal trainer and as like a competitor, it's kind of just like hypocritical for me to be like, oh, I'm so healthy, I'm so fit and blah blah blah, but then like completely ignore cardiovascular health as well. So that's why I want to keep 1 day in. But during my last bulk, I completely took it out to build, and I really think, I mean, it's just totally up to you and your training style, how often you should do cardio and if you should do it while you're building. But I mean, it's just science that if you're going to do cardio while you're building, you need to be eating more than if you weren't doing cardio just to build up that muscle. It's like cardio and your eating go hand in hand. So like if you do more cardio, you can eat more. But I don't know. I'm just like rambling now. Okay, next question. Okay, and then Angie also asked, how did you get into fitness? So this will be the last question I'm going to answer. How did I get into fitness? So basically, I had an eating disorder. I was in a very toxic relationship, like an emotionally abusive relationship, but I kind of had a weird family situation going on as well, and this is when I was like 14, 15, and so that kind of sparked my eating disorder because I just felt very out of control of my life, and so I just kind of took control of eating and diet, and started like working out, and so basically I was just exercising all of the time, way too much. Actually, that's when I like started P90X and stuff like that. So I would do that and just like be doing hours of cardio, and anytime I could sneak into my room and do cardio, I would. And so I guess that kind of like started my working out. I was always like kind of active before that, but then after, this is such a long story. I should probably make an entire video about this, but we'll see how it works in here. So I started doing that, and I got down to a very unhealthy weight, and finally, so I was living with my grandparents at that time because I refused to move to a different town with my family because I didn't want to leave that relationship that I talked about. And so finally my mom was like, okay, this is getting out of hand. You are sick. You have to come live with us. And so at that point I was having a lot of like suicidal thoughts. I was pretty miserable, and I don't really want to get into that, but so basically I had to move to where I live now, and I refused to go to school here. This is my freshman year of high school. It was like January, so it was like second semester was just starting, and I refused to move in the middle of the school year, so I did homeschooling for the rest of my freshman year. My mom is a psychologist, and so she was just, I basically had to spend my days with her, and so she kind of just like made me start eating more, and just kind of like helped me with that process. But the main thing was she allowed me to keep exercising, which I think kind of saved me. I feel like if I weren't able to keep exercising, I would have never gotten better, unless they forced me to go into a treatment center or something like that. I kept exercising, and mostly like running was my thing at that point. And I asked my mom to do a half marathon with me, train for a half marathon. And so we did that together. We ended up doing 2 of those together. For like the next 2 years, we did half marathons together, trained together. And so basically I was just like a cardio person at that point. But I had been doing like P90X in the middle of that and stuff like that. So finally I kind of recovered from my eating disorder through exercise. Being able to exercise was my like saving point. And so then basically after my second half marathon training, I was like, okay, after I'm done training with this, I want to start building a little bit of muscle up, because like on Instagram I had found like Katie Hearn and like all these other like fitness people, and I was like, you know, they look like really cool, like I want to look like that. And so I looked up a program on bodybuilding.com. This was after my second half marathon, and I just basically started, I don't remember, it's like Kate Easton, Jamie Easton, it's Easton something. So I started doing her program on bodybuilding.com, and James and I started dating James around this point. We both got a membership at Gold's. At that point it was a Gold's Express, and we basically just started our journey together, and we both started lifting. So yeah, that's kind of how it went. That's how I got into the gym. I started lifting. So after I finished that program by Easton, whatever her first name is, Easton, after I finished her program, I made my own workouts. And ever since then, I've been making my own workouts. Yeah, and so that kind of sparked my interest for personal training, and that's kind of, it was just like a snowball effect, and so now here I am. It's in December, oh my gosh, what is the date today? It's December 16th. So December 13th was my 2-year anniversary with Gold's. That's when I started at Gold's. So I've been lifting for about 2 years now. But seriously lifting, like bodybuilding lifting and counting my macros and all of that, it's just been about, I'd say like almost a year and a half that I've been doing that. That's going to conclude this Q&A video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.